thank you for joining us for another episode of No Huntsville Presents Front Row. We're very happy to be back and talk about everything comedy here in Huntsville. Today I'm joined by two very special guests, two people near and dear to my heart, because they are co-producers in two shows here in Huntsville with myself. We produce Epic Comedy Hour together. We produce Awesome Comedy Hour together, and we do all kinds of other fun stuff.
We're creative with
I know we're very. I love them. I love them. I'm telling you, the next one I'm going to call. Yeah, it's either terrific or spectacular, and then we're going to start a production company called Superlatives. Yeah, pretty neat. That's down the line though. That's pretty neat is pretty low on the totem pole.
Okay, yeah,
pretty neat is pretty neat. Oh no, maybe that's next.
Yeah,
maybe that's next.
Pretty neat.
Maybe that's next. All right. Well, the gentleman who had the genius idea of pretty neat comedy is Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly joins us here today.
Thank you.
And sitting by his side is none other than Mr. Elliott White. So thank you so much, boys, for joining me here today. I know your schedules are so busy. Tight. Yeah, and Tim is in the middle of programming a menu for a bourbon tasting, and Elliott just had his car broken into. So busy.
Well, if you guys know who did it,
I know. One seems happy and one's sad. One's
someone
very
literally
sad.
got paid to drink today.
someone got paid because they stole money from me. So,
That sucks.
yeah, if you guys know who did it, please email Scott.
Did this turn into Crime Stoppers all of a sudden? Are we running a Crime Stoppers
This is
podcast?
true crime. Oh,
True.
they're very
Ooh.
popular.
I don't know.
I do like
No,
that
Huntsville,
angle.
I believe in them. Like they could track
You know what's sad? This will not air for a while. So if you know what, revenge is a dish best served cold.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be some cold ass revenge.
Cold-
if you get
that's
if
how
you get
I
a
want
tip,
it.
Cold
if you get a
case
tip
files
based on
is
this,
all I'm saying.
yeah,
That's still a thing.
I'm tell you what, I'll quit comedy if this solves this case. If this solves this
Just go
case.
out on top, man.
Oh man, what are you talking about? I'm taking this show to Netflix. We're getting some documentaries. How a comedy podcast solved a break-in that nobody gives a shit about except for Elliott.
I was gonna say I give a
Just
big
Elliott.
shit.
Just
Even the
Elliott.
police will be like, okay, neat.
Pretty neat solving crimes.
I have a limited amount of superlatives. A lot of things are real neat.
Everything's real neat. Welcome, the Leave It to Beaver, Tim Cleaver over here of the Leave It to Beaver family. Did you ask the cops? You're like, did you guys take fingerprints? What's up?
They were like, well, they got there and they were like, oh, it's raining, so we're not even going to try and take fingerprints. I'm like, come on, at least try.
At least try. You know what? They were blowing smoke up your ass. That could have been sunny as hell. They wouldn't have dusted your car for prints.
Looks like they got away.
Oops. They
Wet bandits. They
don't-
only strike
they
when
don't
it's
care.
raining.
They don't care.
Fucking, ugh.
Well, I'm sorry that happened, but let's move on to sunnier,
Yeah.
sunnier things. Thank you guys for joining me today, and thank you again, audience out there watching Front Row. Like I said, these guys are co-producers in Epic Comedy Hour and Awesome Comedy Hour with me, and both of those shows are spectacular, to use another word. I don't know. How do you describe things when they're already using descriptive words? You know what?
With call them accurately described.
That's very true. Well, with Epic, with Epic for years, anytime somebody writes something about Epic, they're like, "Go to Epic Comedy Hour because it's going to be epic." Every time I'm like, "Come on, you're a fucking writer. You can do better than that. You can do better than that."
buddy.
But they're both great. Epic Comedy Hour, we've been running now for a smidge over 8.5 years. We'll be celebrating 9 years in July of 2020. Tim, you and I came in like a year, maybe a year.
A little over a year into it.
A little year.
Just that
I performed on the second one ever in August of 2011.
I was
at the first one.
I was March of 2012.
March of 2012,
first.
yeah.
And then we did the first anniversary show, and that's when Justin announced he was bringing us on to announce. I believe.
Yeah, so that would have been July 2012.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that first one, I remember Joe Pettis was the headliner.
Yes.
Which I think Joe, till to this day, has been on Epic more than any other comic.
I'm willing to bet. He's been on it almost as many times as us.
Yeah, I've been threatening the next time he's on the show, I want to have a hoodie made for him that's like the 7 Timers Club or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something just for him. I love you, Joe. I'll see you this weekend. So Tim and I came in about a year in. Justin Ledlow, rest in peace. He's not dead. He just moved to Marietta, Georgia.
Basically
He's
dead.
basically dead. Justin stepped away because he just lost interest in comedy and improv, and now he's just a civvy. He's a civilian, a muggle, if you will. Yeah, living in Marietta, Georgia, but he's still a good friend of ours. So Justin started the show, and it came out swinging, man. That first epic we ever did, we had 268 people show up in July of 2011, and that was at a time when there was no comedy whatsoever in Huntsville.
The show, my first show I did in March, the head count was 325.
Wow.
And that's
In January of 2012, the head count, which I think to this day is the most that's ever been in an epic, was 368.
From what I understand, we're the reason that Flying Monkey, now Barking Dog, now becoming whatever.
Theater Huntsville.
Like the reason they had to figure out their fire occupancy.
We are. The fire marshal came in and complained because we had way too many people.
Yeah,
I mean, since then we've had 250 many
that.
times, but 368 in that room was way too many.
Yeah, those
way too many. 250. 250. They'll go a little bit over it, but 250 is really
we don't go
about
over it, Huntsville. But if we did,
yeah, if we did. But really came out of the gate hot. And then when you and I came in, it was at first, man, we've been through a couple of different regime changes, but it was me, you, and Justin, and Jason Steinhauser. Then Jason Steinhauser dropped. Then it was me, you, and Justin again. Then we brought in Jonathan Craig, and then Jonathan Craig moved to Nashville. Then Justin stepped away completely. And then for many years, it was just the two of us.
You, me, and then just the third month, just rotating
guest hosts, exactly, which proved to be more difficult than I thought it would because people don't necessarily want to come do the show and host.
Right. Yeah.
But luckily, we had some really great comics that stepped up to the plate and actually hosted for us. But yeah, we've been at the Low Mill the entire time. And now, as you just said, it is. It's great. The BYOB, the theater's great, and Low Mill, of course, a historic place. And actually, tomorrow, which has no time reference to this because you don't know when this is going to come out, but tomorrow I'm meeting with the Theater Huntsville people to just kind of smooth things over in the transition. But we've already been welcomed with open arms because now the theater at the Low Mill has changed ownership once again to Theater Huntsville. And we are very much looking forward to working with them.
But you know what hasn't changed? Epic, consistent.
Exactly. We have not missed a month since 2011. I mean, we have been steady.
I think it's what 2012 because I think the first year it was about every other month. I want to say.
Well, in 2011, it actually happened I think 3 or 4 times, and then in 2012 from January it went steady. Yeah. So January of 2012 till now has been. So we've had 8 years on the nose of every month, and then we might have missed in 8 years maybe 2 months or something like that.
Yeah. There's some math in there to figure out how many shows we've had.
I tried to do it one. I mean, I could figure it out, but we're up there, and plus we've had at this point. We've had nearly 1,000 comedians perform on the show, and
people who have gone on to do.
Oh, we've had people literally go on to do Netflix specials, late night, star in sitcoms, you name it. We've had amazing.
Noah Garden Sports, writer.
For example, writer for Marvelous Miss Maisel, Emmy-winning writer for Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah,
Great Star Stage.
He was on the first show that I because I'd gone and done stand up. Heard about this show and saw the January show that month, and he was on that.
Yeah, so, we've had a lot of killers on that show.
Yeah. Oh God! Yeah.
And we will continue because we are.
Who's been your favorite and least favorite?
Wow!
You don't have to do that.
What the fuck? You think I'd be like, well, let me start with my least favorite.
I mean,
let me start with the worst of the worst.
Who's the worst comic?
I wouldn't piss on this person if they were on fire. I had.
You don't have to.
I'm not going to go into it.
Were you
going to go into it? No. I will say in the history. Okay, look. When you have that many shows and that many comedians, do you have people not do well? Occasionally, but honestly, our room is built for success.
Yeah.
Okay. If you've ever been to the show, Huntsville loves comedy. We have a fantastic crowd. It's a fantastic place. The theater is awesome. So if you come in there and you don't have a good set, guess what? It's fucking you. It's never the crowd. It's never the room. Nobody can ever say in our show, God damn, that crowd was awful. That will never. It's you.
We still had.
I've seen people hang their heads coming off that stage before because they knew that they just missed a fucking easy home. They popped out when they could have hit a home run. Do you know what I mean?
The winter when we had the big snowstorm.
Yeah.
Tommy Battle came out and issued a declaration like, do not drive anywhere, Huntsville.
Yeah.
Stay home. It is not safe. We still pulled 75 people in the crowd.
That most of them walked. Most of them walked.
I mean,
yeah. Well,
This-
people. Well, number one, it was warm.
Huntsville. You're my web camera. I love you. Thank you. I love
Number
you.
one, it was warm, and it is BYOB. So I mean, what are you going to do? It's good. It's good.
That's two warm things.
Yeah. I've seen people kill there. I've seen people do not so well. But in the entire history, I will not name names. I've seen 2 sets where I was ever like, God damn. That was
In a good
bad.
way or-
No? Oh, I've seen sets where I was like, holy shit. Like, that person's a star, or that's amazing.
Oh,
And
holy shit is good. Goddamn.
I've seen goddamn like, wow.
Yes.
Like, this is my fault.
happened.
Actually, no. Let me make that 3, and one of them was not my fault. It was his fucking fault. And we will not go into details, but it was 100 fucking. Tim knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking
gonna
about.
ask you guys
it was
off air.
100%
Actually,
Tim's fault.
That show,
The show was great.
It was great, and it was a
Said
big
person
reason, like,
was awful.
Yes, but like that show, I think it really helped us kind of blow up a little bit as far as people coming from further to do the show.
Sure.
because I had Tom Sheave on the show, who
Yeah.
I did a comedy festival in Knoxville with him, and he killed. He won it, and I was like, hey, come down and do this. He sent out a picture of the line of 75 people that we had to turn away.
Yes.
And then since then, all a bunch of people that he knew that we didn't are reaching out to us, sending us videos like, "Oh, I want to come do this show."
Oh yeah, we've literally had comedians, and we still do coast to coast.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from Los Angeles, New York. I mean, you name it, come
well,
down.
no,
to
we
do
had
the
Sean
show.
Finnery, so we've gone international.
We have gone international before.
I blanked on his name. Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember that. one day we will compile like a blooper video. We'll have
intros?
we'll have a blooper video or something like that.
oh my
God knows we have enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show's great. And of course, Elliott. Elliott joined us officially joined us in August of 2019. Right after we celebrated 8 years, Elliott became the 3rd producer. So now we're back to the 3 of us rotating hosting. So we no longer have to do guest hosts. You're welcome, comics. So before you joined, you had come. You had done Epic, but you'd also been you'd come to Epic. Do you remember the first one you came to?
We had you guest host one of them as well, I believe.
He performed and guest hosted before he was a.
So the first.
Just because he was available.
Well, you got me before I blew up. So, still hasn't happened yet, but yeah, the first Epic I went to, I'd only been doing comedy for maybe 2 months.
Do you remember who was on it?
Fuck you.
Oh no, not the first one I was on.
Like,
no, that's
okay,
the first
'cause
one I went
God,
to go see.
Do you remember who was on?
You've been.
I don't. But I remembered just like the room was packed.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody killing, and I remember having stage envy, even in that early on
Oh,
in my
yeah,
career.
which is a real thing. Yeah, stage envy stuff.
I saw everybody going up there and just killing. The crowd loved anybody that set foot on that stage.
Well,
So
it's
I was like, I
hunting.
wanna-
It's some nights it's hunting a baited field. When the crowd's hot, if you go up there and you know it's really hard to miss. That's why the people I've seen miss. It's very very few and far. I've seen people not do as well as other people because that's just comedy. Some people
Yeah, it
might
just
connect
happens.
more, but also we take pride in booking a very eclectic lineup. That there's a little bit of something for everybody. So if we have 7 or 8 comedians up there, you're gonna like at least I'd say 3 to 4 of them at least.
yeah.
There might be a couple that you don't, but that's why we do a showcase. So there's a lot more.
Right.
And so now it's the 3 of us that do Epic, and then after that we decided to branch out and start a sister show to Epic Comedy Hour, the geniusly named by me Awesome Comedy Hour, which takes place at the Open Bottle out on Highway 72, right before Jeff and Slaughter Road, right next door to the Bojangle, so you can get you some chicken. Come in there,
chicken and comedy.
yeah, great, beautiful place, one of the coolest patios in town
yeah,
for
when
sure.
we can do that show
huge
outside,
patio.
it's a lot of
so
fun.
half the year we do it outside. That show, Epic, is on the 4th Friday of every month. Awesome's on the 1st Friday, and they are in spirit basically the same show. We run them the same way, same amount of comics. It's great. Gives comics another opportunity to come through on a different weekend and see a different venue here in Huntsville because Epic's been going for so long. And we have celebrated now about 14 months of Awesome Comedy
over a
Hour. So
year.
it's going
I've
great.
been there the whole time.
Yeah. You started that one from the jump. And I, of course, produce many other shows, and I'm sure we'll produce other shows together. But those two are great. Epic is. And it's not even because we run it. I will say it's kind of like crown jewel of Huntsville comedy.
Oh, yeah. I don't think any.
Probably, I dare say probably. It's definitely
Like
one of the best shows in the Southeast. I would say it's probably the best show in Alabama, and we are nationally known.
Yeah.
To rock a microphone,
Like,
I get stupid.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
it's
outrageous.
One, you
yes.
know me, like I don't like to self praise at all. Like I'll sit here, like one of my favorite jokes.
By the way, our producer Danielle is laughing off camera right now at Tim saying he doesn't want to self praise.
One of my favorite jokes, like we had Kenny DeForest on Awesome Comedy Hour,
Yeah.
and he like I got a poster that he signed for me, and wrote on the poster, "Great job hosting. Don't worry, you're going to get over looking like Sean Astin after he washed ashore." I think that's one
That's
of the
pretty
funniest.
good.
Like, yeah, like
That's pretty good.
So I don't.
You do look
self-praise,
like
but,
Sean Astin with a drug problem.
Yeah,
You look like
I said
you look
again,
like the Goonies was real and he took it real hard after the
getting that
jewels ran
final
out.
tackle and-
After that last ruby was sold, and
doesn't
it's just
last
like all the
forever.
hookers are gone.
Instead of getting the final tackle in Rudy, he got a terrible gambling problem. That's this guy.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about Epic. We've talked about Awesome. Epic again, fourth Friday of every month at the Low Mill in the theater, Huntsville, newly owned theater. We have Awesome Comedy Hour, first Friday of the month at the Open Bottle out on Highway 72 before Jeff and Slaughter Road. You can find both those on Facebook, Epic Comedy Hour and Awesome Comedy Hour. Real quick before we kind of wrap it up, I know we've been bullshitting, but let's just talk a little bit. Tim, how long have you been doing comedy now?
Been doing it literally just celebrated 8 years.
Awesome. Elliott, how about you?
4 years.
4 years.
Well, going on 4.
Going
It'll
on
be
4
this
years.
year. Yeah.
Awesome, and neither of you are any good.
Yeah, that just shows like experience doesn't
It
help,
takes
guys.
talent to know talent.
No,
And
no,
if you
no.
can't recognize it.
No, these guys are both excellent comedians. Find them on social media. Elliott, actually, I take with me on the road all the time. He's been my road opener for the last couple of years. We're about to go out on the road again. I'm going to take this guy along with me. Where can they find you on social?
Says the Jamaican on Instagram.
We've talked. You need to
Twitter.
fix that. You got to change that.
Yeah, it's I've
too
had it
much.
for so long.
Yeah.
But also, if you just search Elliott White, I'm the only black person. So like, that,
All right. So search Elliott White or Says the Jamaican. All roads lead to Rome.
yeah, you'll find.
Tim, what are you on social media? Where can they find you?
Social media, I get them mixed up. Twitter and
That's what you always want to hear from somebody pushing. He's like, I don't know what they are. I get them mixed up.
Between Twitter and Instagram, one of them is Ginger Jokester, one of them is The Ginger Jokester.
All right, well, you can find it. You need to fix that too.
Somebody
You need
had
to
it
fix
already.
You need to fix. You need to fix both of those
I'm
things.
not throwing numbers in there.
Okay, you need
all right?
no numbers. You just need to. You need to fix that. Okay. The ginger. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Danielle. That was an editorial on the fly. So
We
thank
worked
you
at
to
TV for
Danielle.
years. She's on
she is on point. She's the best in the biz, as we say. All right, boys. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you a quick question. If you could, either one of you or both of you, I should say, one piece of advice you'd give to somebody who wants to start comedy for our listeners, our viewers out there. If they want to start, what's number one rule for you? What would you tell them if somebody came up to you and was like, Tim, Elliott, I want to start? What would you tell them?
I'd say like it's not the most encouraging thing. Like it's fun. Like it's one. Like I've
Tim's like, fuck you, don't do it. That's my number one
come
too.
from my pedestal.
That's my number one too, actually.
Because when a joke hits, like I mean, I've done a lot of dumb stuff like in my life, and I've caught buzzes, if you will. There's no better feeling than like an applause break, and I love that. But like as far as advice, you're gonna bomb. You are going to bomb.
Sure,
no
yeah.
matter how good you
prepare
are,
yourself. Yeah.
At some point, you're gonna bomb.
Yeah.
Unless you're
Just get back. Just literally get back on the next stage you can get on.
Yeah, that's good advice. And I tell people
memories.
in the comedy class I teach at Stand Up Live, shameless plug, I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Elliott, one piece of advice for new comics.
The best advice I could give is there is no like practicing without doing it. You got to go to open
Stage
mics.
time. You have to
gotta
get on
up.
stages.
It's
as
not a
much as
musical
possible.
instrument. You can't
Yeah.
practice 1,000 hours in your bedroom and show up and play it perfectly. You telling yourself
If you do it by yourself in your bedroom, you're fucking weird, bro. You're weird.
well, people,
Actually, let us know because we probably need to call somebody.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're
Which,
murdered.
side note, Elliott hosts the longest running open mic in Huntsville at
Yes.
Copper Top
Yes.
every Wednesday. It starts at 9:30. Sign-ups at 9. Elliott hosts that.
Yeah.
So check him out for that stage time. So be prepared to bomb because it's going to happen, and no substitute for stage time. Both good tips. Yeah. Real quick, just to go over a couple things happening. We have a lot of great comedy in Huntsville. As always, we talked about Awesome Comedy Hour on the first Friday at the Open Bottle. We have Homegrown Comedy at Straight to Ale in the Speakeasy on the second Friday. We have Drafts and Laughs, which is at Yellowhammer every third Friday of the month, which I believe here soon they're going to switch to Saturday. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And then on the fourth Friday we have Epic, and then we are adding so many new things. We are premiering a new comedy show at the camp on April 25th. It's going to be fantastic, and we've got a lot of other things. For instance, my new theme show, which happens at Shenanigans immediately following Epic Comedy Hour on the fourth Friday of the month, and it's called "And It Goes a Little Something Like This." It's a music comedy mashup. Don't want to miss that. The first one was was amazing. We're doing it again this month, and the lineup is fucking stupid. And of course, open mics, your opportunity for that much needed stage time. Mondays at Maggie Myers. Matthew Tate runs that. Check him out on Facebook at TGIM. Tuesdays, which are just about to start. January 21st, which will, of course, this is in the future. Yeah. It's going to start at Salty Nut every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's a show up, go up mic. It's free to attend. Come on down to Salty Nut Brewery every Tuesday at 7. Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. at Copper Top. So right there, you got 4 opportunities to get stage time every week here in Huntsville, Alabama, and it's just growing. So be on the lookout for that stuff. Come to a show sometime. Yeah, we have so much stuff going on. And at Stand Up Live, we have, of course, a packed calendar of stuff. And next month in February, we have Dion Cole. They've got Killer Bees. They've got Chad Daniels. And so much more. Brian Posehn is coming for a weekend. So a packed out month at Stand Up Live. Make sure to visit their website at standuplive.com. Check out their calendar. Go to a show there. They're a great, fantastic comedy club. And thank you to Elliott and Tim for joining us. Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for tuning in to No Huntsville Presents Front Row. Guys, can't say thank you enough for watching our show. Make sure you tune into the other shows on the No Huntsville Network. We got 86, the food show. We got The Come Up, which is a hip-hop show. We got Alex Drives, which is a community engagement show. And then, of course, The Mothership, No Huntsville. So tune into all those as well. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Solve my crime, please.
Solve the crime.